Get ready, because One Piece has a glorious purpose for us all. Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinry. Here at the Everything Anime Podcast, topic from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, every relevant topic we're talking about. Today's video is on chapters One Piece 1125 to 1130. Now, somewhere in between, I did review chapters of One Piece, but I skipped 1125. I made notes for it and everything, but I had forgot to talk about it. In the midst of doing my Dr. Stone videos, in the midst of doing Tokyo Ghoul, and other things I'm adding to the list that I can't wait to talk about in the future as well. But for now, I want to talk to you guys about 1125, up to where I'm at, and then continue. So when 1125 opens up, Rob Lucci and Kaku have escaped Egghead Island. Of course, did you expect them to die? They just brought back Rob Lucci and Kaku. They're not going to kill them off in Egghead Island. Even though we got to see Luffy is way more powerful than Rob Lucci currently with his Gear 5th form, which I loved. I'm currently watching Egghead Island arc on Netflix. I love how they skip from like episode 500 to 1,000. Like, Netflix is like, oh no, give us that One Piece money, give us that anime money. Woo, like, they late to the game. I mean, they got the Netflix live action One Piece, but I mean, I've already given my opinions on that season 1. Overall, liked it, but there's a lot of things they skipped through. So again, if you got people to watch the anime, that's good. But do not think you can take that story for verbatim. They obviously had to skip a lot of stuff. And you can say anything about Yu Yu Hakusho live action. But again, that's not this video. But just talking about, like, yeah, they weren't going to kill Rob Lucci. Plus, we got to see some of them in One Piece film Red. We saw Khalifa, the Door guy. Yeah, so I think all of CP9 has become CP0. But yeah, and the Seraphim are there as well. They've also been recaptured and taken off the island. So they're all back. Now, the world government goes on to say that they got their hands on York, their own Vegapunk. We have the evil Vegapunk on the Straw Hats currently. She hasn't become an official member, but we have Lilith. They also go on to say they obtained Punk records and the power plant, which they can now use to create the Mother Flame, the fire that never goes out. So, we still haven't seen the Mother Flame. We saw some of it, like a piece of it that was stolen, and we know that the Mother Flame is used to power the ancient weapons. But we haven't really seen anything else about it. Again, this is new information. Expanding the world, expanding the story more and more and more, especially what we're going to get to in the end of this chapter. But yeah, they have the power of the Mother Flame. They definitely have control of at least one ancient weapon. If not, Emu is still powerful as fuck. We didn't know Emu is Devil Fruit or what his abilities are. I think Emu is a girl, but don't really know. But anyway, some of the Marines mentioned about going after the Straw Hat Pirates to Elbaph, but Saturn immediately shoots it down. He's like, no, forget that. We're not going to Elbaph. We have already got a disgrace letting the Straw Hats escape again, escaping with the Vegapunk, and then Vegapunk's biggest fucking thing, like telling the whole world his viral message that the world is going to sink under the water, the ancient weapons exist. Whether people believe it or not, the information is now out there. So whether in the One Piece world there's conspiracy theorists or not, the world now knows that the world government is in control of the ancient weapons and that they've been used, and that's what caused the world to sink 900 years ago during the Void Century. The world sank 200 meters because the ancient weapons were used. Even using one, I guess, raises using all three raises the water level 200 meters. Now, one of the soldiers questions the Five Elder Saturn. He's like, if what Vegapunk said is true, doesn't that mean we're evil? And without saying a word, just Saturn just glaring at this guy, like just with like hockey or whatever itself, he hits the guy and it knocks him unconscious. So like the others like, no, like, okay, if this is true, it's a don't ask, don't tell, don't speak on it. Like, obviously, you know. And I think most Marines are like Kobe, like they don't know this stuff, or if they did know, they would change their mind. I think Kobe, Gorp, I know Gorp's a good guy. Gorp might know things, but I believe Gorp's a good guy. I believe for the most part, Fleet Admiral or former Fleet Admiral Sengoku is a good guy based on what we've seen in the story so far with him. But like obviously the other Marines, and even Aokiji might have left it because he learned the truth. But like Barcelino and Akainu, they obviously don't give a fuck. They probably know and they don't give a shit. But you know, that's heroes and villains, and I'm not gonna talk about the warped senses of justice, but there are things people do that say like, "Oh, this is for justice. We are the law, so we have to uphold it." Like the Celestial Dragons, like how the Marines let people get enslaved because these rich ass people that think they're better than everybody else and don't have to breathe everybody else's oxygen are like far superior, so they can just buy people when they want off the street. Disgusting behavior, but that's how the world sees them for whatever reason. Maybe the Celestial Dragons have something to do with like the ancient weapons. We don't know yet. So meanwhile, all this is happening. A new character we met before the Gorp and Roger flashback and the Rocks Pirates, like, you know, the whatever happened on that island where Bartholomew Kuma, Ivankov, you know, the Hunger Games of One Piece happened. We had met this guy named Saint Saturn. He's now been promoted by Emu to the seat of the 5th Elder. And the other 5 elders, or 4 elders, are like, "What are you doing here? What do you mean 5 elders?" And I thought we were going to become 6 elders. He's like, "No, I'm replacing Saturn for the research department of science and defense." And I was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to see what his monster form looks like," because we've seen what the other 5 elders look like, but we don't know what Saint Saturn looks like. We don't know if he had a devil fruit or like Emu gave him power. But if you're Saturn's replacement, what happens with Saturn? Bitch, I just watched first episode of Egghead Island and saw Emu's powers or abilities, how he destroyed Luliosa, whatever the island's name is called. Now he's killing Saturn without even being there. Like, he disintegrates Saturn like some shit from Mortal Kombat. He turns Saturn, like, melt his skin and body down to the fucking skull. I did not know Emu had powers like that. What kind of devil power is that? Because there is nothing our Straw Hats can do against a power like that. I haven't seen anybody in One Piece with a power like that. That is some next level demonic shit, for real. He must be the devil himself, the devil incarnate. Now, as the chapter comes to an end, we learn that whoever becomes the king of the pirates is going to have access to the ancient weapons, is going to have access to that power that caused the world to sink 200 years ago. During the Void Century, or not 200 meters, during the Void Century 900 years ago. I keep saying 200 years ago because I'm thinking of 200 meters. But that was the war that happened in the Void Century. It was a war over the use of the ancient weapons. Joy Boy was there. We don't know what happened during the Void Century. There are still some of the mysteries. What happened in the Void Century? What happened? What is Emu's powers? You know, what is the treasure of Goldie Roger? What is Luffy's dream after he becomes the king of the pirates? Again, so many questions. That is all from 1125, and that's the chapter I skipped. Now we're going to get back to the current arc. So, current chapter, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, Chopper, they've made it to Elbaph. Oh, Usopp as well. And so they're currently in Elbaph. The way the chapter opened up, we opened up in this like block-like city with like giant cats and giant birds and giant snakes. And I really thought it was going to be like some Legend of Zelda thing, like some kind of Lego thing. And I thought it'd be cute, but apparently like the Straw Hats were just captured by like some kind of fanboy giant. I think he's the captain of a different crew. We meet some crewmates this chapter that might be under him. But they escaped and they go out into Elbaph, which we're going to get a shot of at the very end of this chapter. But it was just a very fun way to open the chapter. Meanwhile, Frankie, Robin, Vegapunk, Lilith, Jinbei, Brook are still on the giant ship. They're still on Bragi and Dory's ship. They haven't made it to Elbaph. Also, the reason why the other Straw Hats made it to Elbaph is because a giant bird apparently picked them up. I guess when they're all in their days drunk, it like picked them up and brought them to the other giant's castle. Which I thought was gonna be a little kid, but it turned out to be like a grown man. I can't talk shit. I cosplayed. You follow my cosplay page, so. But I just thought it was funny, like they were captured by a fanboy. But yeah, they make it outside of a giant castle and realize like they're in New Elbaph. And we meet 2 members of what's called the New Giant Pirates. That was their name. I don't think I wrote down their name, but they're called the New Giant Pirates. They have like a really cool design. But the giants on Elbaph, we get like a better comparison. They make our characters look like Alvin and the Chipmunks in a live action Alvin and the Chipmunk movie when they're going to high school and standing next to those giant teenagers. That's like the kind of size comparison that we get. And we've seen giants throughout One Piece in the war and stuff like that, but this is like a real good comparison till I see them. And I love that Usopp's trying to put on a brave face on this island. Like, this is Usopp's arc. Like, we called Wano Zoro's arc. Sanji's arc was Whole Cake Island. Brooks' arc is going to be Laboon. Well, Brooks' arc was like Thriller Bark, but I know meeting Laboon's going to be his big thing. And, Robin had her arc on Water 7 / NS Lobby. So we're getting Usopp. This is the year of Usopp. I guess Usopp's going to level up. He might become a real brave warrior of the sea. I think we're getting there. Speaking of, I don't know why, I just realized that Brook is going to fight in Blackbeard's crew, the former Peacekeeper, the guy with the hat. Someone had made like a comparison lineup, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's, of course, who Brook will fight, because I forgot about the guy. He showed up in like a previous chapter, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's back. Yeah, I just randomly want to throw that out there. But meanwhile, Luffy separates himself from the group as they're walking across this giant bridge because he hears a voice crying out for help. Or, well, we're going to find out the voice isn't crying out for help, but like, that's just our boy Luffy. Like, he immediately goes off. He's like, hey, yeah, guys, I'll catch up with you later. Jumps off this giant bridge to go find this voice. We then learn that the two captains of the giant pirates, or the former giant pirates from 100 years ago, Bragi and Dory, both have a bounty worth 1.8 billion, respectfully. So Luffy's is a bit more, but I mean, to be in the billions, that's pretty fucking good. And apparently, they've always had that bounty, even back in the day, like 100 years ago, they were pirates. So that means these guys are no joke, and we know the giants aren't a joke in the first place. But then we focus on a bit of lore. So the king of Elbaph had 2 sons. We don't know the name of the first son, but the second child's nickname was the accursed prince Loki, the shame of Elbaph. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, Loki, that's a very interesting name. And there's a point that someone's going to get to later. But anyways, he committed several acts of evil, that we're told about. And he was sentenced to crucifixion, but he nearly escaped, if not for all the giants together taking him down. So that means, like, whoever Loki is on this island of Elbaph, he is a force to be reckoned with. He is not somebody that you can, like, take lightly. And again, like, when you see the reveal of this island, and well, I'll see if I can find an image of what somebody called it, like how they broke it down better than the image did. But it's pretty crazy. But what was the evil act he committed? Because we don't learn all of it. We're just told that he committed several evil acts. The main evil act he committed was trying to kill his father, King Harold, for his legendary devil fruit. So we got a Blackbeard situation where, like, Blackbeard killed his crewmate to get his hands on the darkness fruit. We don't know what this legendary devil fruit is that Loki wanted to get his hands on, but it's a devil fruit that's passed down through the giants. Like, I guess the king, what would you call it? The royal line of giants. But I had a feeling that the voice that Luffy heard as we're learning this information was the voice of Loki. And of course it is. It is said, though, that if Loki escapes again, Elbaph will be led to ruin. And of course, as I turn to the page, Loki is wrapped in chains. He's a fucking giant with devil horns poking out of his helmet. And we finally get a shot of the giant island that Elbaph is on. It's a tree. And he's laughing. He's like, oh, I'm the sun god. I'm going to lead all the world to ruin, to hell, basically. And we know Luffy's going to let him out. It was such a breathtaking chapter. Now, I'm going to see if I can find the image of what somebody broke it down. But basically, like, we're on, like, Oda's own version of, like, Asgard. So some Greek mythology thrown in here, which kind of fits that lore, because from what I've heard about, like, Asgardians and things like that, they're supposed to be like giants, supposed to be like god figures. So, the figure name being Loki kind of would fit in the lore if these giants are Asgardians in some kind of way or form, and we are now dealing with, like, gods of, like, this world. Because, I mean, Loki calls himself the sun god, so it could be true. What's going to happen from here, I don't exactly know, but I am very, very excited to find out. Anyways, that's all for this video. One Piece is taking a break for 2 weeks. Also, I've heard the One Piece anime is going on a break for 6 months, which is a great idea. We should not already be on Egghead Island while we just left Egghead Island in the manga. Like, do what Bleach did, go on a hiatus. Don't let the anime catch up to the manga, because then you're going to have a Full Metal Alchemist thing. We're going to have a Dressrosa One Piece arc situation again, where, you're building filler. Don't do that. Go on a break. Everybody loves One Piece. It'll be fine. Anyways, that's all for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one. See you guys soon. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are two. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.